Hey, good morning Pilipinas. Good morning mga kababayan mula po Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao and mula sa Asia, Amerika, Africa at Europa. Welcome to this week's edition po of Education Radio. We are here live at DCRJ 810 AM and makikita nyo rin po kami sa Facebook and meron din pong live streaming sa www.atrimedia.com. On behalf of your host po, si Ms. Pia Morato, this is Mark Lopez po, your netizen on air. And pansamantala nyo pong makakasama ngayon para talakayin po ang mga maiinit na issue natin para po sa ating dagdag na kaalaman. Mamaya po, we will have a live phone patch interview with our guest commentator, si Attorney Bruce Rivera po, direct po from London. But this morning, gusto po sana natin talagang maging positive ang ating mga discussion, but we have to start with this issue po sa nangyari this week. Itong sa ginawa po ng isang grupo, yung Akbayan, and what they did was they brought in this supposedly European Union parliamentarians. Now, ano po ba ang issue dyan? Well, alam niyo po, being a concerned netizen, somehow nakakagalit po ng konti. It is so disconcerting, and yung nangyari po na yan, which I believe dapat po na sana mabigyan natin ng talagang pansin bilang mga Pilipino. Alam niyo po, we are here trying to build a nation. Tayo pong lahat mga Pilipino, at alam niyo, marami po na tayong ginawang sakripisyo sa atin, sa ating bayan, sa ating bansa. Marami na po sa atin ng naging bansa pa nga, yung ating mga bagong bayani ngayon, ang mga OFWs. Nagpunta na po sila ng ibang bansa para nga po sa kanilang kabuhayan at para din po tulungan ng ating bayan. Ngayon, alam niyo po, personally, ako naging active as a netizen, naging active in social media about 5 years ago lang po. And it was brought about by, I believe, is yung we need to really have change, not only in our government, but change in everything, in us, in how we deal, in how we go about our daily lives. And I believe that, like most of us, most of the Filipinos na nakilala ko, or marami po sa atin, I believe, nakita na meron na po tayong pag-asa ng pagbabago. And we did it with last year, May last year, when we exercised our right of suffrage, when we had that election. And it is very clear what we did. Diba? Kaya we have begun the process of change, and ito na nga, marami nang ginagawa ang ating gobyerno, but still the problem is meron pa ring mga tao o meron pa ring mga grupo na parang ayaw yatang sumama sa atin sa pagbabago. So, kasama ko ngayon na i-discuss yan ay ang sinabi na natin kanina na ating guest commentator na si Attorney Bruce Rivera, live po from London. Attorney Bruce, good morning.
Good morning po, Mark. Good morning.
Attorney Bruce?
Good morning to everyone. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello po. Yes. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Ayan, Attorney Bruce, good morning.
Good morning po. Good morning po sa lahat.
Attorney Bruce, we are live on air ngayon po sa DCRJ 810 AM. And
Yes.
welcome to this radio program.
Yes po. Welcome to everybody who's watching right now. Lahat ng mga televiewers saka nakikinig sa TriMedia. Sa education program ni Pia.
Yes, Attorney,
Yes po.
we're very glad that you can join us here. And kanina po sa aking introduction, I tried to introduce po yung issue about this event na nangyari recently when there were supposedly European parliamentarians that came here. And they came into our shores, they came into our land, expressing their protest and their dissent with the way the government is handling this anti-drug war, and with the way the government is directing its policies. So, Attorney, ano bang natin dito? Kasi personally ako, I am so outraged by this by what they did.
Yun nga po, what they're trying to actually do is, ang problema kasi karamihan sa atin is we feel that, we have to win the war on on perception, on, the PR war locally, but in fact, we have to also to do our part to, make the Philippines viable, and the international perception of Duterte must be uplifted as well. Kaya po ang akin pakiramdam ko ano nila yan, that's their way of trying to discredit the government. Kasi una sa lahat dito wala namang official EU stand eh. There's no such thing as an official EU stand regarding the Philippines. Kasi, but of course, for those of us for the people who would be reading perhaps the news for the first time about the Philippines, or for those who may have, who may be interested in doing business with their country, that is something to ponder on. Na bakit may mga ganyang bakit ang EU ganito? When in fact, kahit alam natin na hindi naman official yung kanilang magpunta dyan. And moreover, ayun, katulad kay pagbisita nila kay Leila de Limo sa kulungan, na parang nagsisignal na there's something really wrong kasi bakit nila binibisita ang isang tao na already charged with drugs and drug her complicity in the drug war. So it is purely an international PR game that we as a nation, or we as as Filipinos, should be very careful and should fight to answer it head on. Kasi pag hindi po ito nasagot, or hindi po ito nagawa ng movement na to rebut the same, people will take it as gospel truth.
Okay.
Yun ang masama. Yun ang kailangan nating baguhin.
Yeah, I agree with you, Attorney. Tapos, tama-tama, kasi nandyan ka ngayon sa London, and probably could share with us, I'm sure you've been talking with a lot of people there, and not just yung mga kasamahan natin o yung mga kababayan natin, but also the foreigners. And if you may share with us, Attorney, ano ba yung nagiging impression ngayon sa ating bansa, sa ating gobyerno,
Well,
sa labas.
yun nga yung sinasabi ko sa even before pa the Philippines has some negative na siya, negative reputation.
Okay.
But of course, because nothing has been done, well, meron talagang parang nakaaktibo na reputasyon. But the problem with the recent in the recent past, or in the recent, much recent after the ascension, after the election of President Duterte, mas lalo nilang ginawang mas maingay. So initially we were talking to barristers or to solicitors who make who tell us that there is a problem on the rule of law of the Philippines. So yan po yung perception na kailangan nating baguhin, because of course initially for me kasi, when I did not really understand the problem that well before, sabi ko ano ngayon kung walang kung ganito perception nila, kailan ba natin, di ba? So, but I later on learned that of course there are essential things that we might need as a nation that may be jeopardized, because if meron silang sinasabing ESQ parang there is a standard of parang there's this what you call, parang sila may mga best practices ang mga European states and
Okay.
and Western states, so parang that we have to at least adhere to or follow to for us to be able to deal with them business wise, parang gano'n ang sinasabi nila. So technically speaking, parang if we have a problem with human rights, for example, if and we do not by their perception adhere to what they think is the is the modicum of, or the best practice, or the character, or the ang sinasabi nila parang yung standard nila, they would have what you call, they would not just deal or trade with us. So in a way, parang sabi ko, ano ngayon, initially sabi ko, hindi lang naman pagkain or something ang kailangan nating bilhin. Of course, we're fighting a war on drugs, we're fighting an insurgency, we're fighting terrorists and terrorism. So it comes to a point that there are several contracts of ours na pagbili ng barrels, for example, na nagiging issue ngayon, nagiging problematic, because of course many of the people who do deal with arms and the sale of arms and production of munitions and everything are based in the US and in the EU. So dun tayo medyo madidihado if in the near future, if the reputation is still like that. So
Okay.
dyan tayo magkakaroon, dyan tayo aaray, because it'll come to a point na baka hindi na tayo makabili ng baril, or for example for our PNP or our AFP, because of the negative outlook or negative of the president.
Okay. But attorney, we understand that the EU or the European Union is really an important trade partner of our country, and I believe that the government naman is doing its best in trying to make representations with the EU insofar as our trade concerns are are being addressed. But so you think that the perception on us still needs to be addressed in a way na dapat mas malakas pa rin ang presence ng ating government.
Yeah, definitely. Oo,
So
definitely,
medyo may
because of
kulang pa
course,
tayo sa ating
kailangan nating i-sustain po yan, because of course, so there's so many people who do not really know about the Philippines, who does does listen to BBC, who usually listen to the likes of of people who are being interviewed by, like for example ngayon nakita mo wala na mga kwenta-kwenta itong si Hober, andiyan na sa BBC, di ba?
Yeah. Tama.
Siya pa nga yung siya pa nga yung nanggago ng tao, maligning many people, including myself, calling
Yes.
me names, calling all of us names, and yet, look, she is interviewed in the BBC.
Oo nga.
Not every one of us never stepped in the BBC studios. I was lucky enough to be interviewed by Sputnik, but Sputnik is not, maybe a news uh, outfit, but it's not as big as BBC.
Yes.
So bakit tayo hindi nakakapunta doon? Bakit tayo hindi nabibigyan ng ganong klaseng mileage? And yet these people do actually reach these
Mainstream.
echelons of broadcast. So doon pala nagtataka kapag taka, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So syempre something has to be done about it, because there is tayo ang laking bunyi natin, may interview lang tayo ni George Galloway, pero and this person who maligns people, who does earn it for a living, who is not even a lawyer but a law student of a school na, na
Oo nga
pag ikaw ay hindi nakapasa sa San Beda, pupunta ka sa kanyang eskwelahan. and then she's glorified like somebody of a champion who is championing the rights of
Speak, the right of
apparently
expression.
the rights of the nakakainis lang.
Yes. Attorney, nabanggit mo 'yan, yung sa government side nga. The amazing thing is, it is the ordinary people, the ordinary citizens who are taking up the cudgels for the government right now, insofar as trying to
Yes.
To put in this issues and these things that the government are doing. It is really the citizens who are fighting for this government. And yun nga, ikaw mismo, I can attest to that, na you were recently interviewed by Sputnik, and yung sinasabi mo nga doon is really more on what the government is doing, which is talagang sa atin kulang na kulang nga yung siguro on the side of the government information division, but ito tayo yung mga OFWs natin diyan sa London and other parts of the world, sila mismo yung talagang taga-depensa, taga-tanggol. Yung sa Sputnik,
talagang meron tayo, oo.
Yes, 'di ba? Talagang it's an organic thing that we are doing, not from our own initiative.
Yeah. Yes, and that's that's precisely the reason. That's precisely maybe perhaps the reason why we're still standing now.
Yeah.
We still have a fighting chance on perception, kasi syempre yung mga alam yung totoo, yung mayroong connection sa Pilipinas, syempre they do understand, and they do comment, and they do fight back, or retort or rebut any negative or any misleading misleading comment, but still nakakapagod din na despite the clamor, despite the popularity, despite everything else, it's not being highlighted that well, and that's frustrating for people like me who go out of the country and try to meet not just Filipinos but also other nationalities who when we do invite to come to the Philippines to invest or to trade, we have to explain the situation as if we are explaining it to them for the first time. You know what I mean? So parang nagiging daunting pa din, and I think kung wala yung organic support ng presidente, matagal na naging Gaddafi si President Duterte, and that's what we are not that is not the route we want to take, because of course the people who are fighting against us have very skillful tacticians, manipulators, and and sometimes they even, they infiltrate the ranks, causing to the point na nagkakaroon tayo ng nagdududa na tuloy tayo sa isa natin because they are so adroit and so skilled in causing and making us doubt ourselves. So that's one of the reasons why kailangan tayo din mulat din, kailangan tayo bantay din tayo kahit papaano.
Ayan,
And
tama,
we
tama.
should not just rely on the organic support, but we should rally the government to actually do something
Yes.
more parang mas mabigat pa to
Okay.
counter, to answer the allegations and to answer this negative PR on the Philippines, because clearly there is a negative PR, and clearly somebody is financing it, and clearly somebody is paying for this, and we do not know who it is, but we have to counter this, because in the long run it will hurt us more than it will be beneficial to us.
All right, tama, attorney. So, we'll take a break, and then, attorney, after the break, let's discuss yung nangyari dun sa Sputnik interview mo, ha? Balik po tayo, mga
Sige po.
kababayan, in a
Okay.
short while.
TriMedia, DZRJ, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino.
Ang dami ng peke sa world.
Unfair.
Pati ba naman puti mo? Peke din? Para totoong puti, mag-Myra Vita White Moisturizer. May vitamin E at natural plant extracts to help nourish skin for that healthy white glow. May double sunscreen na, non-sticky pa. Ito ang totoong healthy white glow. From Myra Vita White Moisturizer. Yan ang alagang holistic.
Trusted quality healthcare. Unilab yan.
Nakikinig sa DZRJ 810 AM. TriMedia, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino. TriMedia, DZRJ, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino. Education Radio, where we deal anything and everything about Philippine radio with our host, Miss Pia Morato.
Alright, nagbabalik po ang Education Radio dito sa DCRJ 810 AM at kasama pa rin po natin si Attorney Bruce Rivera live from London. Attorney Bruce, recently you were interviewed in Sputnik News, and
Yes po.
kaming mga kapwa Pilipino ay nagagalak dun sa interview na nangyari na yon dahil ikaw yung nakita namin na isa talaga sa mga masugid na nagtataguyod ng ating bansa. It's not just the president, it's the country. And yun nga yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina na this is really what we need for us to be able to show the world that the Philippines is now on its footing and it's on its way to becoming a progressive and a really modernized nation. Can you please tell us yung sa Sputnik interview, yung experience mo doon?
How I was able to score it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are very much interested in that.
Actually, many madaming nagtanong, paano mo ba na nakuha mo to?
Oo.
Meron ka bang help from anybody here in Great Britain? Sa totoo lang po, wala akong before my trip to London, somebody PM'd me in Facebook. Apparently she's one of the producers of George Galloway, who I never had, I do not know. Yung kilala, I did not know that George Galloway was in the past. He was a he was in the Philippines for the longest time because he was connected with the KMU.
Mhm.
So nung panahon ng Marcos regime, panahon ng before EDSA revolution first one, he was already with the KMU. So medyo aktivista ito. So he
Left-leaning.
has parang medyo may pagka left-leaning ito.
Mhm.
So he was in the Philippines, and then he went to Indonesia. He met his wife. I think he met his wife there.
Okay.
But basta ang alam ko is he has strong roots in Asia. So he understands Asian culture and stuff
All
like
right.
that. So when he talked and when he looked at the negative issue on the president, medyo nagtaka na siya, and he was trying to look for people who actually would take the cudgels for the president in the UK. But syempre ang gusto niya talaga is somebody on the ground, or somebody who lives in the Philippines na makakapagbigay ng totoong sagot sa mga tanong, because he saw people who were talking about it, and not all were, most of them were like embedded journalists na alam naman niya na, alam niya na yung iba does not know the real story, just go to the country, aware naman siya doon. So his
Or
producer
pinifeed lang
started
ng
to
info.
message me, and finifeed lang ng info,
Yeah.
hindi naman verified, and
Yes.
and of course there's a really great disconnect with regard to the numbers that were given to them. So
Tama.
syempre to an Englishman's point of view, 10,000 deaths are
Shocking.
are astonishing, because kasi sa kanila nga dito dalawa lang mamatay, para na silang,
Oo.
'di ba, parang talagang para silang sinisilaban sa inis, 'di ba? So
Tama.
syempre they contacted me and told me, well, initially it was in a form of a question, if there is somebody who is in the Philippines in the ground willing to come to UK for an interview. And I said, I'm going to London on the 29th. They said, oh, well, very good. So let's set the interview on the 5th. Sabi ko, sige po. At that time, I did not know George Galloway. I did not know that he was a little bit controversial. Sabi kasi, itong taong to dito sa London, either you love him or you hate him, because he really speaks his mind. Talagang may opinion siya. So sometimes people say, he's not really my cup of tea. So parang gano'n ang sinasabi. So either you hate him or you love him, but he has an opinion, and he's very strong with his conviction. So when I was asked to do that, sabi ko, sige. I did not know his show was actually very popular, and many people were watching him, including those who had alternate opinions, kasi syempre hindi to mainstream na, alam mo, kasi ang maganda dito sa Great Britain, sa UK, kung may BBC, may mga ibang news naman na nagbibigay din ng sarili nilang perspective, and sometimes and this Mr. Galloway, who is also a member of parliament po, is one of those persons na nagbibigay siya ng alternative point of view. And his wife being Indonesian, and the president of Indonesia is trying to emulate President Duterte, he becomes interested in the Duterte approach to the drug war. So yun. So yun, that was the reason why I scored the interview, and it was thank God na wala tayong ginastos na pera na pangbayad sa kanila, because honestly speaking, I was able to have conversations with several people here who are involved in PR, and they said, well, talagang if you're doing PR work na ganyan na pagpapa-interview, ang laki ng dapat binabayad sa mga PR na yan. So talagang alam mong malaki ang bayad ng PR na humahawak kay Hover ngayon, kasi imagine mo yan, interview na agad siya sa BBC ngayon, di ba? So
yeah.
just imagine the length, the money that is spent just to highlight that, di ba? So in a way, parang nagbumerang pa nga sa atin yung ating mga expose about about that kasi instead of trying to silence them, we actually gave them arsenal to na mag-showboat na naman to the international community, acting as if they are being bullied by us, and that is what is coming across to
No,
the
yeah.
international community, that they are being bullied
Tama.
by most of us, but in fact they are the ones who are bullies. So we have to really, it is frustrating not just on my part, but it's frustrating for all the Filipinos who know the truth, and to see that why is this abomination trying to distort lies and using the BBC peddling it to the international community as if it's the truth. So doon ako naapektuhan kahit papaano.
Yeah. Yun nga eh. So, but this one sa Sputnik, yung, when I saw that interview, talagang ano eh, no? Nandun yung curiosity ng mga na ibang tao, ng mga
Yes.
foreigners sa ating sa bansa.
He's called a maverick. The
Yeah.
president's called a maverick. It's a really cool word because meaning he paves the way. He's not the typical stereotype politician that we expect would be leading countries, but he is he is interested. He is interesting to people.
Yes.
Because of course he's a little bit off the beaten track. So
Yes.
yun ang kanyang appeal.
Oh,
And,
I mean, diba,
that's
even if our president comes across as sinasabi nga nung kabila, diba, hillbilly na,
oo.
yung askad. But the international community is feeling our presence and is now curious. I think the word is curious.
Yes.
And kasi
Actually, hindi na curious. They are a little bit amazed at how he does things. Like,
okay.
they're amazed at how he,
Yeah.
how he answers or he calls Obama,
Oh, hindi. Yun nga kasi 'di ba nagkakaroon
Natutuwa sila sa gano'n, no?
Oo, yeah.
Ito, ano?
I mean kasi 'di ba
Maraming
meron kasing side na sinasabi puro negative, and then tayo naman dito puro dinidepensahan natin and sinasabi natin, no, this is really what is happening, 'di ba? Yung drug war sa economy and all of these things. But so in the eyes of the international community, parang ano ba talaga ang what is the real score in the Philippines? And somehow that curiosity elevates now into wanting to really know the president and our country. And kaya nga sabi ko dun sa Sputnik interview mo is a trailblazing event because really it is putting us on the map and putting us in the right perspective. Di ba?
Yun nga yung dapat we should have more of that.
Yes.
I think we should we should focus our intellectual juices on showcasing the country, and and trying to make it a global educational campaign rather than make it a local thing. Kasi aminin natin, panalo tayo sa local eh. Hindi
Yes.
kahit anong gawin nila, hindi nila tayo matitinag doon. Wala silang panama sa atin doon, but
Kahit manipulahin nila yung survey,
wala talagang mangyayari. Kahit anong gawin nilang panloloko dyan, wala. But for as long as most of them are in power, and we still do not have the the time to they still have the tenure, the term of office to protect them, or to for them to have the power to to do damage. That's how we should be at least one step ahead of them. Kasi po ang nangyayari is that while they are, well, I know that most of them have zero to none political careers in the future, and for as long as we will be replacing them with people who will be, or we will go into a federal government wherein, there will be a new system, and it will be a different thing, wherein na hindi na tayo mapapasukan din ng mga oportunistang gusto ding pumwesto at gusto ding gumawa ng paraan na, no, and alam mo na, at least man lang gawa tayo ng, we should focus all our energies on promoting the Philippines, giving it a positive twist rather than trying to win the local perception when we have already won that. So we have to be very conscious about the international perception, because that is where it matters at this point in time.
Okay.
Kasi konting panahon lang naman yan eh. In 2019 and 2022, or in 2019, some of them would have, would be out of power anymore, so they could not do harm na. Now, of course, from now until then, they could do more harm, because look what they have done. If they can let somebody as undistinguished as this person,
yes,
a BBC interview, then oh my, diba? You could imagine how good their PR, international PR is. So,
right.
Hindi ko alam kung meron ba tayong pera for international PR. I don't know that.
Well, I think the government has. It's just that
langit.
Oo, 'di ba? Meron naman siguro ang gobyerno natin, but it's just that,
Yun nga ang itanong natin, saan ba 'yan? Sino bang gumagawa niyan? Kasi kung may gumagawa niyan at may pera 'yan, tanungin natin, teka, bakit walang ganito? Kasi kung kayang gawin niya ng mga dilawan with, hindi ko alam kung saan yung source of income nila, baka drug money or baka kung ano niyan, di patulan na rin natin at gawin natin ganun. I'm not we can launch that and we can do that, of course, in the right way. Yun ang iniisip ko, saan ba, sino ba, at ano ba yung kaya nating magawa. Kasi hindi kaya ng isa-isang tao lang, kasi mahirap eh.
I understand.
Kasi swerte-swerte lang naman, di ba?
Oo.
Ito sa kanila, hindi to swerte-swerte eh. Ito talagang
orchestrated, calculated. Oo. Tama.
Oo, kaya
I mean, like
minsan
for instance,
nabibiktima.
Oo nga. And like you, ikaw, nandyan ka ngayon sa London. I'm sure after that.
Yung sa akin lang eh. Swerte lang yun eh. Oo, wala namang concerted effort yun. Hindi naman yun plinano. So, aasa ba tayo sa swerte-swerte, di ba? So, we have to do something more cemented, more fortified, more with a clear, na figure out, teka muna, what are we doing wrong? We might be selling the country to tourists, but we have to sell the perception as well, and that is very important, because that is where it matters. Public opinion internationally should matter to us, because it will affect us later on, and we should be aware of that. We should not be too parochial, but we should be global instead, so that in the future we will not have any problems. Yun ang iniisip ko lang, parang ngayon pa lang na-worry ako, ano kayang mangyayari? Because of course, this is how they deposed Gaddafi. This is how they ended the regimes of people. This is how the Syrian war started, the Syrian perception, where in fact the world initially hated the Syrian leader. Later on found out that, hindi naman pala siya yung problema. So, we don't want to go that track. We have to protect and have to defend the Philippines at this point in time.
Tama, attorney. Sige, so we will have another commercial break, and then after which i-pursue natin yung yung line of discussion na yan, attorney. I want to expound on that, yung nangyayari sa atin ngayon with this perception nga with the international community, especially with what happened recently.
Okay po.
Sige, balik lang po tayo after that this commercial break.
TriMedia, DZRJ, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino.
Makibahagi sa bawat talakayan. Ihayag ang inyong reaksyon sa mga programa ng TriMedia sa aming mga social media accounts. TriMedia-TV sa Facebook, TriMedia DZRJ 810 sa Twitter, at TriMedia sa Instagram. Makiisa sa bawat programa ng TriMedia sa social media, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino. Mga napapanahon at nagbabagang impormasyon. Balitang tanghali. Ihahatid ni Ray Langit 30 minuto ng mga rumaragasang balita alas 12 hanggang alas 12:30. Samahan si Ray Langit tuwing Lunes hanggang Biyernes dito sa DZRJ 810 AM. TriMedia, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino. Sunday, 7 to 8 a.m. Only here at DZRJ 810 a.m. TriMedia, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino. TriMedia, DZRJ, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino. Kayo'y nakikinig sa DZRJ 810 a.m. TriMedia, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino.
Education Radio, where we deal anything and everything about Philippine radio with our host, Miss Pia Morato.
Okay, nagbabalik po ang Education Radio dito po sa DZRJ 810 AM. Kasama po ulit natin si Attorney Bruce Rivera at Attorney.
Yes po. Yes, Mark.
You know, you are in London, and then previous to that, I believe you've been to other countries like Japan and in Asia, actually.
Parang, parang ako na nga yung
Ikaw na yung parang ating roving ambassador, di ba? De facto ambassador.
Ambassador, may issue tayo dyan. Lang ako, nagkataon lang na meron akong foundation na tinutulungan to look into OFW problems, kaya napapaikot ako.
Ayan.
So yun lang po. Yun lang po yung talaga. So nothing in particular. Mahirap yun. Mahirap ang ambassador.
Hindi, pero bigyan mo nga kami ng bigyan mo kami ng preview ng mga natin, yung mga interaction natin with our OFWs. Ano ba yung nangyayari outside of our country?
Iba-ibang lugar, iba-ibang problema eh.
Okay.
Well, of course, we started with Hong Kong. We know the problems of the OFWs in Hong Kong. So ba sila pinaka-marginalized, and we started that with Palitbise, with din sa Davao movement. So of course I went to Japan. Ang problema sa Japan more often is not the same as the problems in Hong Kong. Medyo sa Japan, sa kanila naman medyo it's more first of all yung kanilang issues with the DDS groups there na nag-aaway, nagkakaroon ng mga conflict, but it's normal. However, meron silang mga specific problems na endemic din sa kanila with regard to mga undocumented workers, yung of course the problems with yung mga aging Filipino workers doon na they have no opportunities to return to the Philippines dahil takot din sila kung ano yung kinabukasan nila doon, but they love the country, so ganon. Pagdating mo naman sa US, first world problems karamihan, but of course may mga problema, mga unti-unting problema, but of course we went to Southeast Asia and we found out glaring problems of teachers in Thailand not being able to work properly, not paid as much, being abused. Of course, we were happy na we also met with several undocumented workers, sex workers in Malaysia na syempre hindi natin pwedeng ipakita, but
wow, yeah.
What we know is are victims of human trafficking, and of course we will be going to Sabah to talk about again another aspect of human trafficking na nangyayari. Of course, we went to Laos na nakita natin how a Filipino organization can actually do do lots of wonders, lots of help. Kasi nakita natin na because of the initiative of several groups there, and of course the embassy na tumutulong talaga with that group, nagiging they are able to professionalize teachers. Pag kulang yung qualification ng isang teacher na Pilipino doon, they provide it. So instead of Filipinos being trying to be being exploited, nagiging maganda na yung sweldo kasi nga they are professionalizing it by giving them exams, empowering them, pumupunta doon yung PRC to give them exams. And I think, and alam namin after kami bumisita ng Bangkok, nagkaroon po may nakinig po at the PRC actually went there and gave the licensure exams to teachers. So nagkaroon ng effect. So pagdating naman sa Australia, well, typical sa Australia naman is with regard to the locations of the consular offices na
Yung
naging
malalayo.
issue nila is
Oo.
because of sobrang layo. So yun, naging issue yun. And then of course sa Singapore naman, dahil hindi pwedeng mag-meeting ng malaking grupo doon, nakita lang natin yung parang yung reklamo ng mga name hirees sa Singapore na kasi gusto ngayon ng Department of Labor na gawing lahat ng nasa Singapore kailangan dumaan sa agency. Maraming name hirees na umaaray kasi in the first place nagiging less competitive yung mga professionals natin because alam mo na, ASEAN tayo, so they are competing with Malaysians, Malaysians, Thai, Singaporeans, Indonesians for jobs in Singapore. And because meron rules sa DOLE na ngayon na hindi na dapat name hiring, meaning direct hiring, kailangan dadaan sa agency. So mas lalo talagang less competitive. So yun i-raise nila yun. Yung mga bagay na yun na nalalaman lang natin or alam na natin, but of course mas alam mo nang make more noise for the government to really hear it. Dito sa London yun, marami kami
with regards to our OFW situation, at dito ko yung interesado kasi if we talk about a macro level discussion sa mga OFWs, ano ba yung talagang ngayon kasi ang ating gobyerno very proactive in addressing the concerns of our OFWs, tama? Nandiyan yung mga ginagawa ngayon dito mismo sa bansa natin, yung one-stop shop ng processing ng mga documents.
Yes.
And then pag dyan, yung particular area, may mga repatriation na kailangan, the government acts on it quickly. But looking forward and how we really, kasi ngayon ang OFWs natin talagang recognize not only in terms of yung kanilang economic contribution sa country, talagang sila yung malaking bagay, no? But talagang world, kalat-kalat na tayo. I mean, nakaano na tayo sa buong mundo. But ano yung nakikita mo talaga in the future, how the government, particularly, we look forward
Actually,
to...
I had a very interesting night tonight because I was able to meet a certain parang council of elder, parang old OFW person na hindi naman talaga na hindi siya DDS supporter, pero yung mga anak niya DDS. Yung mga anak ni Duterte supporter siya, Makaleni siya. Di ba napaka-funny. Yung mga anak niya DDS, siya Makaleni. So but the good thing here is that even the Duterte people truly respect her because she's very helpful. Siya tumutulong sa mga walang papel dito. Inaano niya, tinutulungan niya. Minsan siya pa yung matchmaker para magkaroon ng magkaasawa. Magano, alam mo yung ganon. Okay, so what I learned is that sabi niya sa akin, alam mo attorney, what I'm worried about is this. Tapos ng election, pero we're acting as if we're still in an election. So, ganun sinasabi niya. Na, and you know, what hit me was that most of us actually, you know, hindi lang yung kabila yung may kasalanan, tayo din. We have become
Agree.
so hung up with being DDS or not DDS to the point that we forgot that we're Filipinos.
Okay.
So for me, I think what is the underlying problem of every Filipino in the world is that you are either a DDS or not a DDS, and perhaps that is something that is, good in a sense, but the negative thing is that sometimes we forget that there are people who might be in the fence that may want to join us, and because we are so caught up in our own exclusivity that we tend to exclude them. So I think to move forward, we should be inclusive to the point that sometimes, sabi ko nga sa kanila, karamihan, kasi alam natin na nag-aaway-aaway, marami nag-aaway-aaway, even among us bloggers, di ba? Understood yan.
Yes.
But we might not be in the same boat, but if the boat is in the same direction or going to the same destination, then it's okay. You know what I mean? So
Tama.
hindi naman natin kailangan maging sobrang super chummy with each other for as long as we are going in the same direction, and it will be okay. So ang sinasabi ko sa kanila, well, yes, into the point that you can have an exchange of ideas, you can have disagreements, but for as long as you don't act as if you are exclusive to the exclusion of others, then we are good. Kasi
Tama.
ang point kasi natin is that we have our own principles, because we are human beings and we are not a machinery, we are not minions. Hindi naman tayo kulto, hindi tayo machinery, hindi tayo fraternity, hindi tayo gang.
Yes.
So syempre, it's okay to have these agreements, and we will not die, and
Tama.
we will not wither if there are from amongst us may mga pagkakaiba, may mga divergence in opinions. But what is really destructive is when it becomes exclusive to it becomes an exclusion of it moves to exclude others. That is the problem, because democracy by itself is inclusive. So if in the process of being so caught up in our own beliefs that we exclude others who might want to join us in the fray or join us in the good news, then we become destructive.
Tama.
So yun ang pakiusap ko sa mga Pilipino na in fact this will be a challenge to all of us bloggers to in more ways than one. Focus on positive things, focus on that's the reason why I don't really like to dig deep into, kasi kung ako personally, pag corruption yan, okay, go, but if
Attorney, yes, we're joined here by our fellow netizen here, si Ben Yesu. Good morning, Ben.
Hi, good morning everybody.
Yes, kasama natin si Attorney Bruce, and I think you caught up with yung
Hi po, good morning.
Yes, yung discussion.
Kasi ba tayo? Hindi ko na yung pangalan.
Si Ben Yesu, isa sa mga avid natin yan, fellow netizens din.
Yeah, I was listening to the radio on my way here.
Oo. Yeah, Ben, yung sinasabi nga ni Attorney Bruce, while somehow medyo may division na nangyayari, nakikita natin, but isa lang naman talaga yung gusto natin mangyari, which is to make our country better.
Yes. Yeah.
And you being very active in social media, you have this di ba, parang meron tayo ngayong nakikita na gusto nating baguhin in terms of not just the people or the leadership na governing us, but it's the system, di ba? It's the problem. And as what Bruce said, dapat yung i-focus natin yung attention on how we make our country better through looking at the system.
That's true.
Ano yung mga nangyayari natin ngayon na going towards that, Ben?
Yeah, I think we have been struggling so hard in order to go back to the end, which is to realize that we are brothers.
Tama?
All in all,
Yeah.
lahat
Oo,
naman tayo.
ano naman tayo, kahit magkakaaway tayo. Di ba, Attorney Bruce, tayo talaga, sinabi mo nga, pare-pareho lang naman ang mithiin natin eh.
Oo nga. When we had
Pareho lang talaga. Pag tumae tayo, brown pa rin yun. Kahit anong kulay yung paglabas natin, totoo yun. Doon ko lang na-realize because of course we've been so caught up in this election thing that we forgot that after the elections we're Filipinos after all. So it's really disgusting why now nagiging kulay na tayo. Parang so sad. It's saddening for me kasi nga nakikita ko dito sa international community karami ang nag-aaway-aaway dito kapwa-kapwa ni DS din. Dahil nga din sa mga ganyan.
Sige, Attorney, yes. So, bigyan natin ng si Ben na kasi marami
sorry.
Oh, yes, hindi, pero
nakalimutan.
ano na tayo. But Ben, just one word or one final thought on what we are doing now, looking forward and going forward to what we want really to happen.
Okay. If we sum it up in one word, for me, it's we have to be united.
Okay.
That's the only way to protect our nation, really, to become united and to become brothers. We cannot escape that fact that we all live within one country and we all want the same thing. We all want to become free and to become progressive as Filipinos.
Ayan. With that, sayang po mawala na po tayong oras and marami po sana tayong gustong pag-usapan, but we really have to end the program, and for that I would like to thank Attorney Bruce. Maraming salamat po for being with us.
Salamat sa
Thank you, Attorney Bruce.
Yes. And thank you rin kay our netizen warrior, si Ben Yesu.
Yeah, thank you for this chance.
And I would like to thank personally si Ma'am Pia Morato and si Attorney Tom Berenger for considering me in the show. At dyan po nagtatapos ang ating education radio program for today. And maraming salamat po mga kababayan at sana po magkita-kita po tayo muli. Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
TriMedia, DZRJ, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino. Makibahagi sa bawat talakayan, ihayag ang inyong reaksyon sa mga